Except my STEEZ, know what's going on? Yes, Lord, bringing you round 9 review. First game we had, well, game 1 of round 9, we had Collingwood versus Freo. Coming to this game, I felt like this game was kind of up in the air, but not really so much given the performance that Freo had put up last week. Really a bad performance. And yeah, I just didn't know what Freo was going to show up, because at times we see them have good ball movement, and then at times we just, like specifically last week, where they were just one-dimensional, didn't have much going, no team support. Offensively, it just, yeah, got strangled, bro, and scoring really wasn't shit. But also on the other hand, we had Collingwood with a lot of their key players out, with that being Maynard, DeGoey, and Pendlebury. So I thought it would be interesting, man. I was thinking under the impression that Collingwood was the better team still, regardless with these players out. Hence the reason why I tipped them. And yeah, that's pretty much what I was thinking going into the game. Also, Hayden Young down as a midfielder for Freo as well, so that was just another hiccup that Freo would have, so to speak. Yeah, so to be quite honest though, still Freo started the game pretty hot, man. They really jumped the gun on Collingwood. Collingwood looked shell-shocked a little bit. Caleb Sarong had a poor performance last week, but he really tried to set the tone early this game, had 3 early clearances, and Josh Tracy had a couple goals early on, and yeah, really the first half of the first quarter, they really were putting on Collingwood, but the mature side that Collingwood is, they really wrestled the lead back. By the end of the quarter, it really was a tale of 2 halves of the first quarter, where in the first half it was just all Freo. I was a little worried for my tips. I was like, damn it. And this is a trend for me, bro. I'll be like, oh man, I tipped the wrong team. And then the game just, you start here and then it just gets even balanced again. So yeah, like halfway through the first quarter, Collingwood just lifted their intensity, started winning out of the center as well. And ended up getting the lead back at the very last second. And yeah, it was just, okay, so that's how it was. It was a really entertaining first quarter. It was back and forth scoring. Well, not back and forth, but you see a handful of goals from Freo and a handful of goals of Collingwood, and I thought it was actually an entertaining game, more than I thought it was going to be. The second quarter, I think scoring dried up just a little bit, but it was still back and forth. Freo got a couple goals in early, and yeah, Collingwood just able to continue to play footy, man, and they stuck to their brand, and I think it served them well. In the back end of the first quarter and the second quarter, Freo just turned the ball over, leading to a goal, so they just lacked a bit of composure. I think Collingwood on the night was really just the more poised team, the better defending team, and I think particularly in the first half, it just seemed like Freo was giving themselves opportunities, but they weren't as efficient. Whereas when Collingwood was going in 450, they were probably likely scoring. It was actually really interesting too, because Dacos started off kind of slow, Nick that is, and you seen him in the second quarter getting rubbed down, like his hip rubbed down, so didn't know if he was injured or what quite was going on there. But it was also an interesting move to see. Well, so he was getting tagged by Wagner. I always get too confused. Wagner, and it was actually interesting because in the second quarter they moved Nick Dacos up forward. So I don't know if it was like he really didn't have the running capacity because of the injury, or if it was like a tactical move to try and relieve the tag and to test how Wagner could play down back. But it was quite interesting because Nick Dacos did get 2 goals in the second quarter and was able to capitalize off that. I don't think he got 3. I think he got 2, but he may have got 3, which I don't think he did. But yeah, it was quite interesting. He left it up to interpretation whether he was injured or whether it was just a tactical move. Yeah, I think just on the night, like I said, Collingwood was just a more efficient team. They defended better. The small forwards just had great pressure. And like Bobby Hill had a great game. Jamie Elliott ended up kicking 6 goals on the night. And Finn Sullivan, Lockie Sullivan. So many damn Sullivans, bro. But Lockie Sullivan had a great night, bro. And Jack Crisp followed up his milestone game with a great performance as well. So it was actually, I don't want to say refreshing because I'm a Carlton man, so I don't want to toot Collingwood's torn too good. But they stuck to their brand, and it seems to still stick, no matter the personnel that's in or out. Even with Nick Dacos having a slow game early on. So, yeah, Collingwood really was just good, man. The scoring dried up for Freo. Freo ball movement looked good at times. Like Shea Bolton, when the footy got to moving around and bouncing around, Shea Bolton looked good. Jordan Clark looked good. But at the end of the day, I just don't think it was quite enough for Freo. When Freo goes down by a handful of goals, I don't really back them to be able to make a comeback just because I don't think they are like a high-powered scoring side. They're more like, I think, rely on their defense and to strangle the other team, which I don't think they've been great at either at times this season. But I will say in the second half, Freo was making runs, but Collingwood really answered it every time. I think they brought the lead down to like 10 points after being down by almost 20 toward the end of the game. But Collingwood was just way too much for them, scoring out the back, and Bobby Hill and Jamie Elliott played the role of heartbreakers, man. So also something else that happened was Lachie Schultz ended up laying a tackle, I think, on Jordan Clark, and Jordan Clark fell right on his head, and Lachie Schultz was knocked out on the field. And the AFL, I noticed a couple times this season when there's a player injured and they just don't seem to stop the ball, stop play, even if the ball is within the vicinity of the player who's hurt. So I definitely have questions about that. Lachie Schultz was clearly concussed, clearly knocked out, just because you know how the arms get stiff whenever you're knocked out. And he was forced to run off the field himself, like he was with the trainers and stuff like that, but they didn't help him like with a stretcher or anything, or really do anything in their power to really help him off the field. And when he tried to recover from that, he like kind of stumbled a little bit, so it wasn't a good look at all. But yeah, man, I think just at the end of the day, the main story was just the efficiency in the forward half in front of goal. Freo just missed some opportunities. They missed some gimmies, and also just got too much pressure on them to the point where they weren't able to really slot the goals that they needed. Slot enough goals needed to beat a side in Collingwood, an undermanned Collingwood side, to say the least. So it was an entertaining game. It gave me more than I was wanting. It gave me more than I was expecting this game. So I can never really complain about that too much. Caleb Strong had a bounce back game that wasn't too bad. After, like I said, a piss poor performance by his standards, one of his worst games of his career from his first season. And Brayshaw had like a goal or two, and it was actually good to see that Freo wasn't as shit as they were the week before. So didn't really think that they were going to beat Collingwood. Like I said, when you're down a couple goals, I don't think that they have the firepower to come back. But they had a shot, and that's what they did. They gave themselves a shot, but just ultimately came up short. So, yep, that's what I ended up having for that game. Tune in to Carlton Saints tonight. Hopefully we get another decent game. If this game ends up the same way as this Freo Collingwood game, won't be too mad as long as we have an entertaining game. Hopefully Carlton gets the dub, but you know, I may be asking too much considering how the Saints been playing. But we'll save that for the review, man. We'll check out the game and we'll give you our thoughts on that game. So like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube shit. We'll be live. Make sure you tune in. Yes, Lord.